when you have to tell the honest, like, I wasn't trying to make myself good in this story, in this book.
Yeah.
I never been trying to, I never tried to, listen, to kidnapping you can't ever make good. It's funny. We giggle about it. You know, last night somebody sent me a Club Nouveau album. Club Nouveau is this band. It's Timex. Look at all these rumors. They take it no more. It was like the early Timex whatever club.
Yeah.
Club Nouveau was an album, a band, and they had one particular song, For the Love of Francis. And I was dying this morning when I saw the album cover because it was in prison, it was Domino night music. Like, you know, like, who can even say that they went to poker night in prison? Like, think of that word and how funny that is. Like, that song reminds me of Domino night in prison. Like, people are like, Domino night? What the fuck is Domino night? I've never even been to a Domino night that was on a regular thing. Never mind in prison. I go, Tuesday nights was Domino night. Thursday was movie night, and Saturday was poker in the daytime, but they called it poker night. But who the fuck goes to Domino night on Tuesday nights? And they would be sitting there doing, there was that song. They only had like 3 cassettes. So, you know, it's jail. It's not like you have DJ fucking Willie up there slamming the 60s and 70s. They had 3 songs. They had Bobby Brown's new album, which is my prerogative, and then there's another song on there, I'll give you fancy shoes, whatever. Don't be cruel. I will be on that song. And they would slam the dominoes to the beat. Like, hold on, bam! And they would slam the dominoes to the beat and then sing to each other. I will be that cruel to you. And it was Domino night, you know. And I would fucking go there and just die with the music. Who could live their life and say that they went to Domino night in prison? You know, so these shits, you just can't tell this to people, you know, like with the kidnapping. If I look at somebody and go, listen, I gotta tell you something on top of this kidnapping, that for a minute after the kidnapping occurred, when I was getting out of there, I took my gun out and I took 2 steps and I was gonna go in there and shoot both people. I know for a fact, if I'm a female and I'm sitting with a gorilla like me and some guy says that to me, after he goes, okay, we'll meet up tomorrow. Sure. Yeah. Sure we will. You were going to kill somebody. You were going to fucking kill somebody. Now you want me to meet you? So I had all these issues like going into this. When is Erica just going to hang up on me?
No. And you know what? It's funny because it takes a lot for me to be shocked. And I say that because I started going to Uncle Jim's shows when I was 5? I don't know. I'm curious. I want to ask my dad. They used to bring me to all the shows, me and Joey. And I mean, we would I'll always remember being maybe 6th grade, 5th grade, something like that. We went to one of the shows and Jim Norton is telling some story about how he pays hookers to come and shit on a table, a glass table above him, and he lays underneath it. And for me as a little kid, like I could not believe this, but I wasn't even really shocked. I was just like, I can't wait to tell everybody. Like I went back to school and I told all the guys, my classmates, wait until you guys get older. This is stinky stuff you guys are going to have to deal with. I thought maybe every guy's going to like that. So we would hear these stories and then I would just go back and tell people at school, but nothing really ever shocked me. And it would take a lot for me to hear a story that I would be very offended by. A lot.
I could tell.
Yeah, a lot.
You can call him.
It would take a lot.
It's just really crazy that I had a hard time. Took me a hard time to tell these stories. It took me 30 years to tell. Like I would tell Rogan or somebody, Ralphie May, or a comic I was on the road with. I'd tell him a North Bergen story. But I would always go back to my room I don't know if I should have told him that. So then when I started saying them on the podcast, the fucking funniest thing happened this week. I saw an old thing, like when people get old memories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I never saw this before in my life. A friend of mine hit me a message on Facebook and he goes, hey man, did you see that kid that reviewed your podcast? And I didn't know what that meant. I didn't see it when he sent me the thing. He just said, did you see it? Later on that afternoon, on Facebook, I saw an old church thing with me sitting like this, and it was from 2014, and it said under it, growing up in Secaucus, New Jersey, people always told me that people from North Bergen were kind of crazy and to stay out of there. After listening to 3 episodes of this podcast, I will agree that people from North Bergen are basically fucking animals. Oh. He wrote that. He wrote that. And you see a bunch of people, my friends growing up, tell them to go fuck themselves, fuck you in Secaucus, it's a fucking pig farm, you know, and it's like, all those little things always made me ashamed. Like, I was like, ugh. But after I read this book as a whole, I'm like, no matter what happened in my life, no matter what happened, prison, whatever, one thing you can't deny is I got my money's worth.
Yeah.
I got my money's worth. And that's made me feel, ever since I've read this book and I've looked at it from that perspective, it's really changed me in a way. Like, you know what? I was feeling really bad about myself for years. Never mind the comedy, and I still feel bad about the daughter shit and losing my parents. If I told you no, I'd be lying to you.
Yeah. But
that whole thing, after reading that, it took me like 4 days to summarize it, going, you know, I got a friend that thinks he's fucking Johnny Successful. And the truth of the matter is, he lived in his mother's house till he was 40. And then one day when he decided to grow up at 42, he bought a house 2 doors down from his mother, you know? And we're tight. I love him to death. But what a sad life that he never left the block. I'm not being funny about this. I'm not trying to be cute. I just want you to really think about this. This guy worked hard his whole life and never left the block. And he had moms, and he had a dad, and he had uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews. And here I had none of that. But I had a full fucking life. I got my money's worth. Some of it wasn't to be proud of. Getting arrested is not to be proud of. But I'll tell you what's made me happy, chasing James Coburn with Joe Rogan in a fucking car on Sunset Boulevard when he was in an Acura NSX. We saw James Coburn in a light, me and Joe Rogan. We were like 2 young kids. It's 98. And I'm like, Rogan, tell me that's not James Coburn. You better fucking follow him. And Rogan's like, I can't drive that fast. You better stay on him. And we're chasing this guy. Who does that? Who could say they ever chased James Coburn down because they were that retarded about James? It's like you saying to me, dog, you're not going to believe this. When Nirvana came to Philly, I chased Kurt Cobain for an hour in the car. You're like, who does that? You had a full life, brother. People don't even think of doing that. And that's what it made me realize, that what a shitty way to find out that your life wasn't that bad after all. And that's why a great friend of mine told me this, a great man. I think everybody should do this. Write about your life one time. You're going to be really surprised what you learn. Like, I'll never forget getting to L.A. and talking to this guy and him going, first thing you should do is write your life. Everybody, write your life so you can really see what you didn't do and what you did do, and you'll put a tag on it. Whatever feelings I had, I used to be ashamed about being Mercy's father, that she's going to have to live with the things I did. And again, I'll tell her someday, guess what I did do? I got my money's worth out of this motherfucker.
Yeah.
I got left back. I went to prison. You know, I got an ingrown toenail. You know, I got my money's worth, motherfuckers, you know. So that's the biggest thing, I think, that I gotten from this book.
And you've said this from early on, it's a redemption story. Even the little stories, I love those little funny things. Even just you running through the mall with them, people will see this in the book, but going through the mall with the Bruce Springsteen
the records
and throwing them at a cop chasing you. I mean, there's just like so many funny things. I don't want to give away too much about that story because it's really good, but these are just tiny pieces of the book, and to me that would be like the standout thing I did in my life, but like that was just one of your stories. And it doesn't, like, it's not even bad, it's just so funny. And I think, I mean, there are so many laughs in this book, so many. And you know, by the third part of it, the comedy part, you really start to see someone who
it's
is
true.
turned
the
his
comedy
life
part
around.
isn't funny.
Yeah, it's
everything
not.
Else.
Yeah,
the comedy part isn't funny.
It's not.
It's when you start working. It's been fucking. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I think the story that got me from the book was, and I tell this on the podcast. People know that when I smoked crack when I smoked the angel dust with the pregnant chick.
Yeah.
You know, come on, man. Every time I think of that story, even today, I go, "Come on, Joey. Come on, man. That is fucking crazy." What do you want to see happen for this book? I'm really proud of you. I hope the world opens up for you, Erica. I really hope that, you know, I think I got another book in me.
Yeah.
Maybe in 3 months we'll start hashing it out.
I would love to do that.
I see a lot of great things happening for you. You did a really great job on this book. I'm happy I got to get it out there. I mean, I'm grateful to you. Thank you.
Of course. And I think, it's just when people do a memoir, it's just a really brave thing to do. Like, you put your heart and soul into all of this, putting the notes together, working with me, your willingness to share this with so many people, because it's a lot. And I always think I would love to write my own memoir one day. I just don't even know. It takes bravery to really put your stuff out there. So kudos to you for that. I would say for me with the ghostwriting, memoirs are just my thing. Like I've written self-help books. I've mentioned I've done financial planning. I've done business books, but memoirs are just what I love to do. I would ghostwrite memoirs for the rest of my life. I find it amazing. I find it fun. It's work that I wake up and want to do every day. So can't beat it. I feel like I finally found a profession that I'm like, this is it. This is exactly what I want to be doing. And a lot of people don't get that. So it's an opportunity to be creative.
A lot of people don't get what they really want to do in life.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing. Scratching the surface to know what to. It's like what you said. You grow up thinking, I want to be a cop. Can't wait. My mother was a cop. My father was a cop. My grandfather was a cop. Everybody was a cop. My Uncle Tony, before he went to prison, he was a cop. You know, everybody was a fucking cop.
Yeah.
And one day you get up and you're like, I wanted to help people. I didn't want to arrest people.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
Like
that's exactly what it is.
I didn't want to help people. I didn't want to arrest people. I didn't want to help people. I wanted to arrest people. Okay, you're a cop now, but it's just maybe you should have been a social worker. It's nailing down, and that is so fucking hard. And I feel the same way. There's no way I could have done anything else except for stand-up comedy. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm worthless. I'm like tits on a boar. But you know, it just works out. So I'm really happy that you got a part of being my dream, and I got to be a part of your dream.
Yeah,
and here we are.
It was the best. I keep going back to this, but what a perfect time for that book to come into my life, into your life. We just had those few months that we were initially working on it. It just helped me get from kind of a dark place to starting to feel like myself again. And I'm very appreciative.
How can people find you?
EricaFlorentine.com.
Really?
Yeah, EricaFlorentine.com has some info on some of the writing things that I'm working on now and how to work with me in the future. Like I said, I'm really interested in doing more memoirs. That would be, if I could just ghostwrite memoirs, that would be the most ideal life for me. Fun, happy, my true calling, I think. So
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
I love you with
likewise.
all my heart.
I love you.
I can't wait for our little party on Cinco de Mayo.
I know. It's going to be so fun.
Now you got a picture to hang
yes.
at the Cinco de Mayo thing, and hopefully we'll get Mike up if he can make it up on a Friday night.
The Rudy thing?
Huh?
Oh, I thought it was the Rudy show.
What is Rudy's show?
I thought it was like that weekend. We gotta figure it out.
Like the 8th, like the 7th or something.
Oh, okay. Exactly.
Yeah, this is a Friday night, so I don't think it's a Friday night. I think this is more of a
weekend.
Yeah. I love you. Thank
Love
you
you
again.
too. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. This is my pleasure. I love you motherfuckers with all my heart. Thank you for being part of the joint on Monday the 17th. Have a great and happy 420.